Hi there, my name is Ian Mellon. I'm a master's student under Dr. Avais Khan at Cornell University, and today I'm going to be talking to you about some symptoms of common orchid diseases. Apple scab will first show as light green spots on the leaf, and then eventually turn more of a dark olive brown color. As the lesions mature, they will begin to produce black velvety hyphae, and will eventually look more like this. As the disease progresses, the lesions will melt into each other and cover the entire leaf surface, and eventually the leaves will turn yellow and drop. As the disease progresses throughout the tree, it will cause full defoliation and lower tree productivity and total yield. When apple scab develops on the fruits, it produces these brown to tan lesions on the fruit that eventually grow dark and dry out and form cracked callus areas that ruin the quality of the fruit and can drastically reduce yield. Cedar apple rust develops as yellow circular lesions on the leaf surface with a red halo. On the underside of the lesion, you can see black spores start to germinate when the lesion is mature. Cedar apple rust has an alternate host in eastern red cedar as well as other hardwood species. This disease can be seen as orange gelatinous growths called teleal horns that will appear in wet conditions. Frog eye leaf spot will initially appear as small purple lesions that will eventually turn brown and then develop a corky deceased center. This disease has the same causal organism as black rot, so if you start to see frog eye leaf spot on your leaf tissue, keep an eye out for black rot developing on your fruit. Fire blight begins when the bacteria enters a flower blossom or natural wound, and it will cause the twig to die back and become brown and look burned, hence the name fire blight. Fire blight will cause the tip of the shoot to curl in a shepherd's crook, which is a key distinction from another common orchard disease called nectria canker. In the right humid conditions, you can actually see the disease form bacterial ooze on the branch surface. Make sure you trim back any disease symptoms as soon as you see them and dispose of the tissue properly. Powdery mildew will start as light green circular areas of the leaf and then eventually start producing white hyphae that looks powdery, as you can see here. Mature powdery mildew infections will begin to move to stem tissue and will eventually turn the entire tip white. Make sure that you prune your trees properly to allow good airflow and sunlight penetration so that you do not get high levels of humidity in areas of the plant where the disease can develop. One of the most important things you can do as an orchard manager to prevent the spread of disease is to remove all infected materials and properly dispose of them. This includes dropped leaves, fruits, and pruned branches. When you destroy them, make sure that you remove them far away from the orchard site to prevent increasing the available inoculum in the next season. Apple growers make cultivar selections based on consumer demand. However, by choosing cultivars that are susceptible to common orchard diseases, you can severely reduce your yield and tree health in the long run. This gala tree, for example, has had severe defoliation, more than 50%, and every fruit has at least a single apple scab on the surface, ruining the fruit quality. Planting resistant apple cultivars, like this Liberty, can help prevent the rise of fungicide overcoming scab populations, as well as reduce the cost of fungicides in your orchard. If you are going to plant resistant cultivars, make sure you use plants with more than one source of resistance. Otherwise, you can develop scab populations that can overcome host resistance, like you see here in this Nova Easy Grow.